Hello friends, I'm Dr. Rohit Shetty. I'm a Clinical and Translational Scientist, Narayana Nethralaya. As India is going towards this massive 1 billion plus vaccination drive, I just wanted to bring up certain scenarios with you from an immunological perspective. When I say immunological perspective, everything that happens in our body is driven by how your immune cells and immunology is nothing but the things that helps you to keep you alive and protect you from everything which is external. This is there in every single cell of your body. How does that impact the vaccination? First thing I want to start off here is I'm speaking to you safe and healthy because of being vaccinated. Vaccination is a must. It's safe and it protects you and your family against everything. What is very important here is that when you get vaccinated, we always say that it is close to 99% safe, maybe 1% some events, but nothing extraordinarily different. But I'm always curious about that 1% because that 1% also means it is somebody's father, mother, wife, kid. It could be anybody. So that its statistics is just a number. So let's look at a few scenarios and let us be aware of things that can happen during this vaccination which could help you and your family to be safe and get vaccinated safely and protect yourself. Scenario 1. Which vaccine should I buy or should I take? When we got vaccination, there was no real way we could pick up vaccines. But now there are options which will be there over time. But what I would like to say is pick up the one which you get. Everything is safe. Don't go by the statistics of which vaccine gives you what antibody titers, because every single time, every single month, you get a new research paper which immunologically says that most of the vaccines now are very close to each other. So let's not worry about it. And this most important line I want to bring up here is from Theodore Roosevelt. He said that comparison is a thief of joy. Do not try to compare your vaccine with somebody else's or something else. Everything is the same. The second scenario is the timing I should get vaccinated if I have COVID. When you have COVID, your body has gone through a lot of stress to fight itself. The immune cells are already there. So getting yourself vaccinated in a very early phase may not be very useful, and sometimes anecdotally, I don't have a clear proof for that, may not be very safe. So give a time of at least, in Indian context, 30 days, but the Western literature and Western rules now says close to 90 days. So that means 30 to 90 days would be the safe limit. The third factor is, if I'm exposed to somebody in my house with COVID, but I don't have symptoms of COVID, what should I do? So immunologically, when you're exposed to your family members with COVID, there is a chance that somebody in your family would have transferred those virus to you. There's a chance that you might have a mild infection or you might have nothing. It's very difficult to prove whether you have something there or nothing. You still be a carrier, you still be an asymptomatic person. So if you're exposed to somebody at home and spend a lot of time without a mask and you've taken care of that person, both at home and if you're taken care of them to the hospital, bringing them back, be a little careful about this because your body also would have mounted a response to reduce that inflammation. So you could do two things. You can wait for some time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks time, or you can get yourself tested and be sure that you don't have a COVID infection when you're getting a vaccine. The most dangerous thing is to have a COVID, known or unknown COVID, and get infected. I've had instances where I had a very mild symptom But it disappeared after 2 days, and I went and got myself immunized. This is risky because anecdotally and both in theory, again I don't have proof for this direct link to this, when you have two responses, a response 1 which is the body mounting the reaction, response 2 is your own immune cells trying to fight it out, and also through a vaccine. If there are these things happening, your body's response would be completely different, and we really don't have any studies to do that, to prove or disprove that. So when we don't have anything, be on the safer side. They say trust in God, but lock your car. So be on safer side and do not rush. So either you get yourself tested or wait for 2 weeks. If you're asymptomatic, then go and get yourself immunized. The few things you can do is to look for any mild symptoms of COVID, including loss of smell. Very, very early sign of an asymptomatic person is loss of smell, a weakness, myalgia, diarrhea, vomiting, anything could be COVID. So be very careful about that. After this, the third scenario is, I got my first immunization, now I got COVID. What do I do before my second dose? So the best way to do is to defer the second dose as long as possible. When I say as long as possible, we give it at, earlier we used to be 4 weeks, now it's 6 to 8 weeks. You can push it to around 10 to 11 weeks. That's still okay, because new reports say that if you push it a little longer, your response is better. So you don't have to worry, because you already had one dose, plus you have a natural course of the disease which has built in some response, so you get a little more better time and more immunity during this phase. The fourth scenario is, what should I do during this COVID immunization time? Is there anything which can improve my immunity, which can build my immunity? So I keep referring this paper, a very nice paper by two immunologists in Clinical Microbiology journal, who talks about, it was in 2019, who talks about all the things which can boost your vaccine's immune response. The few things which can boost your responses are, 1, when you have a very strong health in your body system, your good food, vitamin D. If you have a good vitamin D in your system, you're healthy, you're going to get a boost in your vaccine's status. One thing which is very interesting for me in this paper is, your psychological state of your mind during the time of immunization has an impact on how strong your immunity builds up. That's because when you are going through an acute phase of depression or anxiety, your whole immune system is very dampened. To build up this immune system, you have to be at least in a certain frame of mind. All of us are going through a lot of stress here, I understand. But at least during the phase of vaccinations, and at least few days after that, try to keep yourself as calm as possible during exercises, meditation. That's why exercise, meditation boosts your immunity, is because it helps to improve the status of the threshold of your immune system. It's a very beautiful way of neuroimmune axis, where the axis of immunity is driven by changes in your brain. These are the very important points I wanted to bring to you through this medium, so that you're aware of the changes that can happen and the risks that which you can face. The last scenario is about the changes that can happen to you over a few months or weeks post-COVID immunization. Because we hear a lot of this newspaper reports or sometimes anecdotal case stories about somebody having a heart attack or some cardiac event post immunization. It's really difficult to prove or disprove at this point of time. Is it really the culprit or not? I first want to believe that it was not. It may be a natural event. However, there are few things certain people who are at risk for these events can be aware of. When I say risk, it's about cardiac status, if you have a past history of heart attacks or cardiac hypertension, obesity, sedentary lifestyle, multiple things. What you can do is you can keep track of few symptoms which can be a factor for you to rush to a hospital. For example, excessive tiredness, palpitations, heart beating fast. When you climb stairs, earlier you climbed 2 stairs, nothing happens. Now you climb one stairs, you start breathlessness. You start gasping for oxygen. That kind of a feeling. Any catastrophic event of the heart does not happen suddenly. Very rarely, but it gives you at least a few days, even a day's time. So even anything you feel is completely out of normal, go back to your cardiologist or physician or anybody and get yourself detailed checkup. Probably it can prevent it. See, at this point of time, a disclaimer from my side is we really don't know whether it's an event related to this or an event which is a natural event, because there are a lot of events which happen naturally even without a vaccination. Even without vaccination, people do have all these issues. So I would like to end this small session wishing you all the best with your vaccination, and let's just dampen this curve through our own efforts and also the efforts of the vaccines on our body. Keep your body at a very high level of immune building. When I say immune building, build your immunity as much as possible from natural sources. The food you eat, the exercise you do, the state of well-being you are in, mental, physical, the exercise you do are as strong immune building exercises as you see with the vaccine. Just don't depend on the vaccine. Build your immunity by every single source you can get your hand on. Thank you.